Welcome to Topstep Funded Trader Interview. I'm Eddie Horn, and today we have with us Yik Wei, who through hard work and dedication earned himself a funded account. So let's start out with Yik. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Eddie?
I'm fine. Chicago weather, it changes in a blink of the eye. So um, glad to have you here with us, and thank you for your time. Let's start out these questions here. We're going to have questions. And for those that are watching, I suggest that you take out a pen, a pencil, a crayon, whatever you use. Take notes because there's going to be some good information here for you. So let's start out with tell us about yourself, Yik.
Yeah. So my name is Yik. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. That's where I'm based out of. I was born in Kuala Lumpur, moved to the States, been all over the place, raised in Savannah, Georgia, and, ended up here in Atlanta.
Now, what or who got you started in this wonderful career of trading?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was really inspired by Warren Buffett when I was young. I always heard about, there's people who can actually make a living out of it. And I don't know if you know, but Warren Buffett, he kind of started from nothing. He started at the bottom, worked his way up, and he just used his intelligence and smarts to end up, playing the stock market and end up accumulating a lot of wealth. And just realizing that, it made me interested that, in the markets, you kind of have all these moving pieces, all these moving mechanisms. And I kind of see it like a puzzle piece where, if you put it all together, you see a story, and that story will tell you, where is it going to go next?
Yeah, that's exactly what I do with my charts. I let the charts tell me that story, and then I have my dome up to let me sort of zoom in to see, what the buyers and sellers are doing. So it's a great way to go about it. Now, education, training. What education and training have you had prior to Topstep?
So I'm gonna be honest. I started Topstep about 3.5 months ago, and it's been an amazing experience. But prior to that, I didn't really know much. I dibble dabbled a little bit. I learned about like patterns. I used this site called Baby Pips for Forex. But other than that, I didn't really know what technical analysis was, other than drawing some charts. So I think I really started to get very serious about trading when I started Topstep. I discovered it, and it's when I really, really wanted to make a potential career out of it. And so I started learning about, like you're saying, the DOM, the level 2, like that was great. I had no idea that was even a thing, or reading the tape. Support resistances, that was like a simple one that just blew my mind, and just, following the trend, mean reversions. And so, I work a full-time job, and after that job, I would clock in about another 8 hours just learning the markets, and just continually putting in the work. And I feel like these past 3.5 months, I have learned a significant amount. And I feel like the amount of work you put in is what you're going to get out from the markets.
Dedication, like I said, and hard work, it honestly does pay off. Now, what are you trading and why? What are you trading now?
So there are about 3 instruments I really trade. I trade the ES, I trade NQ, the NASDAQ, and also crude oil. The biggest reasons, and for the most part, I traded crude oil when the whole, war thing happened. And, like these commodities are real instruments. So, if you're locking in prices with these contracts, it makes sense that the contract is going to be worth more and more. So yeah, that was a more fundamental play than anything else. But for now, I'm trading mostly ES and NQ, and the reason for that is, if I'm taking a look at the charts and I see a strong trend forming, I'm going to look at which one's stronger. Oh, it looks like, NASDAQ's trending a lot stronger. It looks like it's leading the way for ES. If I'm looking to go long, I'm going to trade that. But if I'm looking to do a mean reversion play and it's going short, I'm going to look at the ES, because I'm not going to short something that's crazy strong like NASDAQ. What if I short something like ES, and it's vice versa too? I'm taking a look at the difference. Who is stronger right now? Is it ES? Is it NASDAQ? And who's weaker? And that will determine for today, am I looking to long this particular instrument or short? Based on these market conditions, and if there's confluence, that's why I'm trading those 2 instruments, because they tend to have really good correlation with each other.
You're exactly right there. You can almost superimpose each chart on each other, and they do have the same direction. We used to add the Dow in there, and we'd call them the three sisters. And because they're moving the same, and there's always a leader and a lagger, and that's a good indication of, market movement. So good on your part there. Now, trading wise, do you have a trading buddy or are you the lone wolf?
I have a pet corgi. His name's Atlas, but for the most part, I'm a lone wolf just like he is. He helps me, keep my emotions in check sometimes, but for the most part, I'm solo trading.
All right. All right. Let's talk about the Topstep process. Now, how long have you been with Topstep? You
Yep.
said,
So, yep. As I mentioned, I've been working with Topstep for about 3.5 months. Um, so yeah,
let me add to that one. How many combines have you took?
I've taken 3 combines. I took a 50K combine. I passed that in 9 days, and blew my funded fairly quickly. Then I took a 150K combine. I passed that in 8 days, and then I ended up getting successful withdrawals out of that one, and then shortly blew it up. I'm still learning. And then my third combine, I took another 150, and I passed in 8 trading days again, and passed as well. So
How many resets? How many resets can you tell
oh,
us?
so in the beginning, my 50K, oh my gosh, I probably reset about like 10, 20 times. Like it was really, really frustrating. And I felt like as I progressed more and more, like even though I was blowing up more accounts, I was taking less resets. I felt like I was learning a lot. And that's why I don't mind resetting a lot, especially if you are gaining a lot of experience each time you do. Each time every time I blow up an account, I know I'm a better trader. I feel it, I can see it, and I can detail it. So that's, why I keep pursuing trading. You have to be persistent. You have to keep going.
If we didn't fail, we wouldn't get better. That's
Exactly.
now you mentioned support resistance. Those are my buddies too. Any other indicators you use and why do you use those?
Yeah, I like using RSI and Heikin-Ashi candles. The reason I use those is for confirmation for the most part. If I look at RSI, this could be a potential bottom. Just because it crosses the RSI doesn't mean I'm just gonna, take a long or a short, depending if it's overbought or oversold. It's just, hey, this might be an area of interest. Is there any supporting way of confirming it? And you can either do that through two things. I'll either look at price action or Heikin-Ashi candles. Those two will basically tell you the same thing. Heikin-Ashi candles, tells you a clear trend of momentum. And price action will just, you read the charts, this is a sign that buyers are stepping up or sellers are stepping up, and who has control right now. So those are what I use. I also use the 8 and 21 EMA. The 21 EMA is my favorite. Every time it touches that, that's an area of interest. Let's say it pierces down and goes back up, I'm more likely to buy when it goes back up, because that's my confirmation, and it's proving that there's still interest in there. And again, I use support resistant lines, and I also like to do mean reversion plays, which are very, very difficult. And I just follow the trend.
That's a fantastic share, and I appreciate you. You let us know about that one. Now, through the trading, we all have strengths, and we all sort of are happy with these strengths. And of course, on the other end of the spectrum, we have weaknesses. Can you share with us your strengths and your weaknesses?
Okay, I'll start with my weakness first. I feel
Sure.
like we're all prone to being tilted. I also get fairly tilted as well. So when you take a loss, sometimes people suffer from something called revenge trading. That happens to me sometimes, and that's due to weak mentality. It's about hardening your psychology, being able to be in the zone, and even when you lose. And this is where I want to be. I'm still a growing trader. I want to be where if I take a loss, it's okay. Like on to the next setup, on to the next setup. Just focus on these plays, focus on these process, not just letting your emotions run over and taking these bad trades where it's borderline gambling. That's one of my weaknesses, and I feel like the days I do lose, it's because of that. Not necessarily because of my plays. I feel like with my strengths, it's being able to analyze pieces of information fairly quickly. Sometimes I'll look at the 3-minute chart, 5-minute chart, as well as the 15-minute chart, and if I have 3 confirmations on all 3, and I'm analyzing that all at the same time, it helps out a lot. It gives me more conviction to go into the plays. So just having a lot of information coming all at once and being able to dissect that and making a play based off of that and being consistent with that, that's what I feel like is key to my strengths.
Fantastic. Now, there's a lot of traders out there that do have the experience and listening, and a lot of traders that are new to this and excited about it. What words of wisdom would you share with a new trader?
Get a trading journal. There's tons of good trading journals, but document each and every day. What mistakes did you make? And write it down. What did you do very well? And there was a few things that really helped me. I realized I lost the most money from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock or something like that. As soon as I stopped trading those days, I went from losing all my profits to being able to keep some of it. If you're able to know yourself, and take those statistics and make it work for you, you're going to end up doing a lot better. What are your weaknesses? If you're losing money on a certain setup or strategy, stop trading that strategy. Figure out what works for you. So it's not about winning big. It's about, keeping your winners and then, cutting your losers short. So keep a trading journal. Make sure you put down, your screenshots, your pattern or strategy that you're trading, and keep the statistics on it. What's your R multiple, like your risk reward on those, and what's your win percentage? If you're able to track that, you're going to be doing far better than most people. They're trading a strategy they think works, that works maybe 1 out of 10 times, but the risk reward's 5. Well, you're still losing a lot more, and you're not gaining out of it. If it's 10%, you're making 5 out of it. So
That's definitely valuable words of wisdom. Thank you, Yick. Now, talking about traders, what do you think are some qualities that make a good trader?
you need grit. You need a lot of grit, tenacity, perseverance. If you don't have those 3, I don't think that trading is going to be for that person. The reason is you're going to take losses no matter what. And, there's going to be a lot of challenges, and the market will sometimes not go your way. I got really good at trading the markets the past few weeks, but, it once it starts turning into a trend day, I might be a little suspicious because we suffered from that for the past few months. So it's being able to realize, hey, I'm wrong sometimes, and I need to adapt to this new market condition. So you have to be you have to keep pushing forward in order to continue on that path of being a good trader. You're not always right, and you have to accept that, and you have to keep pushing through no matter what it throws at you.
I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you. Did you have a personal brokerage account before Topstep?
Before Topstep, I tried dabbling a little bit with equities, but for the most part, it was like my long-term equity portfolio. I would just mostly buy stocks. I tried options a little bit. It wasn't for me. Found Topstep, and I fell in love with futures, and it definitely fits my play style a lot better.
Okay. Now let's go to our next group of questions regarding Topstep. Now, has Topstep made you a better trader?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Topstep has helped me with my risk management, which has been terrible previously. It helps me with my personal growth because, like I said, I'm new to technical trading. Without it, I wouldn't have figured out how can I make this work. It really opened up my eyes of what I could do. I always thought that limited capital was my biggest weakness, but it's not just that. It just helped me open up my eyes. If you're a good trader, Topstep will reward you because not only can you prove and earn your right to get a funded account, you can now learn and be able to get paid, your fair share if you're able to get good at it, which is why, it definitely is a big motivator, because if you're trading with $100, $1,000, yes, that's a lot, but with Topstep, you're able to increase and speed up, the amount of capital you can utilize with that. So it's more of a motivator for me for sure.
Okay. Now, what do you like about Topstep most?
The customer service. The customer service at Topstep is phenomenal. They're always there to help. They're there for the most part, and their response is always fast, quick, and easy. That's what I really like about Topstep. Their partner, TS Trader, using Tradeovate, cleanest platform that I enjoy using. If I am to travel or anything like that, I can boot it up on a web browser and everything's there. So it's just it's just a clean interface. I can literally pick up anywhere and be fine. You guys make it really easy. That's what it is.
Well, you know what? I tell you, we try the best that we possibly can. We got a great group of people over there. Great group. Now, one of the rules that has helped you most in the trading combine. I know there's a few, but which one can you pick that really turned things around for you?
Probably the daily stop loss, because I feel like that's what most traders struggle with is risk management. Like just because you have a 50K account, and let's say you actually have that full 50K, doesn't mean you need to utilize all of it, because it can literally disappear in one trade. You might have taken the best setup in the world, but that one trade can wipe you out if you don't take the appropriate countermeasures to protect your capital. That's rule number one: protect your assets.
Right, and I agree with you there. It's the question a lot of traders ask themselves is how much can I make today? Well, that's the wrong question. The right question is, how much can I afford to lose today? So that's going to keep you in the game. Now, besides trading, my friend, we need separation. We can't always be sitting behind the monitor. Now, I know that you mentioned that you get off of work and then you were doing a lot of hard work, looking at your trades and learning trading. But besides that, hobbies, collections, sports, music, what do you do besides trade?
Other than my full-time job, I enjoy making coffee. I have this espresso machine. I've been dabbling in latte art. I love making cappuccinos, lattes, and making rosettas in those. So it's been a passion of mine. I like, different types of coffee beans from all over the place, local roasteries sometimes, sometimes I import them too, because I just absolutely love coffee. I also like to penny board. It's kind of like skateboarding, but shorter. And it's really good for cruising. And I also like to play ultimate frisbee. But those are the hobbies I can think of off the top of my head.
Now, do you think in the future we're ever going to see a Yick Way Cafe? It's got a little ring to it right there, right? Little coffee cafe.
I've always wanted to open up a cafe, so that's possible. Keep your eyes peeled, okay, guys?
You let me know. I'm going to be the first one in line. I'll be the first one in line. All right. Now for the fun question. It's funny because I talked to Yick before and he's like, I'm a little nervous about this fun question, but it's a fun question. Okay, let's hit it off. Yick, sorry to say that your distant Uncle Phineas has passed. But the good news is he left you $1 million. But you can't have that cash only if you invest $1 million. Now, how would you invest $1 million?
That is a great question. So I'm still fairly young. Uncle Phineas was not, but he was kind enough to leave me that. So I would, when you're young, you can fairly risk a bit more. So I'd probably portion it out to, a portion of it to crypto and some other select stocks based on different sectors. So probably like 20% into crypto if I'm being really risky, another 20% into select stocks I'm going for. So I would take a look at, what's trending right now in the S&P. So, if the tech sector is strong, then I would probably put some into that and then some into the energy sector to kind of balance it out, as an example, or healthcare. And then probably the rest, I would either put it into treasury bonds, and also, the S&P 500. Yes, I like to trade it, but you can also invest in it too. So I would break it up into kind of that to one, protect me a little bit in case the market fluctuates too much, and then another one to kind of grow it with riskier investments, but will probably pay out well in the future. Buying some potential Tesla stock or Apple or Microsoft, maybe some Google, Moderna, like these different stocks that have huge growth potential, and also still playing it safe because most people can't beat the market. So invest in the S&P 500 or maybe some Vanguard mutual funds.
All right. Yick Way, congratulations once again. Great interview. Lots of good knowledge that you shared. And all of us really appreciate that. So all the best to you, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Eddie.
I'm Eddie Horn, and until next time, trade smart. Take care.